we ready to roll? Hey, thanks for your patience, guys. We have this delay now that we have these waiting rooms, so it's looking, 7:05 is a good time to start because there's this delay. So thanks for your patience. Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome. We do have an announcement to take care of first before we get rolling. Shelly, where are you? There you are. Let's unmute you. Hey, so on Saturday, Big Change went out to the lake and had a really good time and had an outing, and it was so awesome. And Shelly is now organizing a camping trip, and so the house is super excited about that. It's going to be a couple days camping and doing IOP outs during camping, which is going to. Oh, let me finish letting people in. People are still coming in here. So we're planning that. So I'm going to let Shelly tell you the details on the dates and stuff. So Shelly, can you unmute yourself?
Hello.
Hey,
my voice is hoarse. Hi, everybody. So we're going to be going on Wednesday, the 19th, and then coming back on Friday. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Coming back on Friday, and we have secured a big spot, and we're excited for everybody that wants to join us to come and join us if you can. And we're going to have hot dogs, hamburgers, IOP. It's going to be a good time. So come join us.
So that means you family members, if you want to come join us, you're totally invited. So you said the 19th and 20th?
Yes, so we'll leave. It's check-in on the 19th at 1, and we leave on the 21st before noon.
And that's Friday. Okay,
yes.
Perfect. So Wednesday through Friday, and it's in Olympia?
Yes, it's between DuPont and Olympia.
Okay, awesome. So if you're interested in the details, you can shoot me a text or a message, however you communicate with me, and I'll make sure you get all the details. But all the crew at the big house, they're going to be going. They're super stoked. And so we are looking for some support. And so for you family members who have kids there, and all of you, if we could get all your support, it would be awesome, in donations. When we have live solution groups at the office, we used to take a $5, suggested $5 donation envelope around. We haven't done any kind of, asking for any kind of, money for these solution groups each week or anything. But I just would love to just ask you to consider, if you can donate $20 on the website, it's sure going to add up, and it's going to help us. We already reserved the spot, but it's going to help us get any additional equipment and the food and all that kind of stuff that we need for the event. And then we're going to figure out actually how much we need, because we think probably a lot of you family members might have some gear and stuff that we could borrow as well. So I'll put a post out about that when, in the next couple of days. So be watching, and if you have things we could borrow, that would be great. Yeah, you can make a donation on our website or on Facebook, and we sure would appreciate it. So thank you. Thanks, Shelly. Thanks for planning it. I'm looking forward to it.
So am I.
Thanks so much. All right. And so other than that, if there's anybody new on, everybody starts out muted. Let me let this person in. Everybody starts out muted, but later when we share, we'll give you an opportunity to unmute yourself. There is a speaker view that's going to help you see art better. So if you're set to gallery view, just switch it. It's easier to see the speaker speaking versus all the different tiles. Just switch your feature to speaker view, and you'll be good to go. Are you ready to go, Art?
Yeah.
All right. Take it away.
You guys, when we got into this thing, sorry if there's anybody new on here. Very difficult for me because everybody else that's not new has kind of been involved in my life and been there and watched the journey of it, and it kind of strengthens the truth of what we do here. And if you've been around, you've seen that we don't just talk about this stuff, that when things get difficult and life's difficult, we're still here and we're talking about the difficulty of it. And I've never went anywhere. And for me, usually she says, "It's coming live from the big house," but like I'm coming live from my own pain, and I'm coming to you from my pain, and it's not relevant as to why, and I don't need to get into talking about that, but I didn't understand pain, and when people told me that I did drugs and alcohol to get rid of my pain, I was clueless to what they meant. I literally thought as a kid that when I started using drugs and alcohol, I thought I was bored. I thought this is just boredom, and this is what you do when you get bored. You do something fun, and drugs were fun. And so I never really took it on as like this was something that I was doing as a pain reliever. But the reality is that is pain to sit and not be able to sit without a substance, and not be able to have any joy in your life, and not be able to get anything without drugs. And that led to more pain. It led to the pain of waking up without drugs, and it led to the pain of needing to get more drugs, and it led to the pain of lying to the people, and it led to the pain of delusion, and my own delusion, and my own, the delusional life of a drug addict. And then really it led to that wake-up pain. That pain when you wake up and you don't have any drugs, and then you have to remember what you've done to people. And so now there's more pain built upon more pain. And what started out was just something you thought was going to have fun turned into this thing. And it turned into this cycle of pain. And it turned into this getting rid of pain. And then all of a sudden doing drugs and alcohol, not even having enough drugs and alcohol to get rid of the pain. So you're still in pain. And then up in the dose. And then the pain that we did by isolating ourselves and shutting off everybody from our families, and just this cycle of, and we all know that we're just experiencing it. It doesn't, when you're experiencing it, you're doing it, there's no attention. And I know that you didn't have any attentions, and it was this cycle of not wanting to feel anymore because you don't want to sit with it, and so then you use. And when we come here, everybody just tells you stay sober, or here you're just coming and it's a matter of time and you need to get sober, and then just do this day and this day and this day, and then everything will get better. And that's kind of this premise that everybody lives on, that it's just going to get better if it's just time to do it. And I don't think that anybody really examines close enough what kind of pain we're talking about. And the trueness of just the pain of pulling up to a traffic light and having it backed up and knowing you're going to have to wait there. And just the experience inside your body of anxiousness or anxiety when that happens. Or just the pain of talking to your family and having it not go your way. And the frustration as an 8-year-old kid and doing math and not being able to get it. And just wanting to pull your hair out. One of the painful times in my life was when I was when I was a kid. I used to have the big 80s hair, And I remember being in the bathroom doing my big 80s hair, and I would get to a point where I couldn't get it just right, and so I'd want to snap the brush or pound it on the thing, and I'd be yelling at my mom, and then my mother would come in the room and she would she did this one, lick. And I don't, you can taste somebody's breath when they're doing that, like on your hair, and she would lick my hair, and that would be the only gel that we had back then in the 80s. You didn't have gel in the 80s. You had spit. And so, and that was very painful as a kid, but I didn't call it pain. I didn't call that inner resistance that just blew me to my core. I didn't call that trauma. I didn't call that anything. I didn't call, not getting my way on a Friday night and stomping back to my room because I couldn't go out, and I wasn't recognizing all these little instances of pain, or raising your hand in school and getting the answer wrong and having an entire class of people looking back at you and just feeling that and feeling the fear, and I didn't understand pain, and I didn't understand fear. And then, you know, when I got into sobriety and I came here and everybody talked about pain and fear, this was oblivious. I still didn't believe them. I didn't believe that I had pain. I didn't believe that I had fear. I didn't believe that my fear was pain. And everybody told me how scared and insecure I was, and I wasn't buying it. You cannot tell me that I'm scared and insecure. I don't get what you're saying here. But see, just that inner experience in our body when it tightens is insecure. You know, when you can feel the looseness, just like all day, there's security in that looseness. So I didn't understand when I got into addiction treatment and I got doing what we're doing here, that what we're really talking about, what I'm really trying to teach you, and what I'm trying to teach you is two things. And the first thing is, what do we do with our pain? And I think this first teaching of what do we do with our pain is the most important thing that we can teach each other as human beings. How is pain distributed? How does it come in? How is pain processed? What is pain? And then what do we do with it? And I want to talk a little bit tonight about how pain travels. And it travels from us and it transfers, or it doesn't. And you know, we're right here and we're all together as human beings. And the most important thing we can talk about is how I don't transfer pain onto you, or I don't transfer pain onto you, or I don't transfer pain onto you, or I don't transfer pain onto you. And how is there anything more important than that? And then if you can see that you can get rid of all this pain that you have, so you don't transfer it to other people. It's the only time in our life where the possibility of love exists. And so we're not really there yet. You know, we're not loving. We're not there because we're still not understanding what to do with this fear and insecurity. That, see, what pain really is fear and insecurity meeting the world. It's our own fear and our own insecurity when the world meets it. It's that meeting point. And right when that meeting point happens, there's an experience in our body. So all of our fears, all of our trauma, all of our anger, all of our stuff meets the world. And then all of a sudden we have this inner experience that we don't like. We don't like it. And so then what do? And you see people. And so basically as human beings, we've got this thing and it takes in this pain. And then what do we do with it? And I will tell you that pain will either travel, and we've been talking about it here, but pain is either going to travel into, and most people, what they're doing with their pain, normal people, everyone, is they're transferring pain into righteousness. And I think it's absolutely imperative that everybody understand that your fears and insecurities meet the world, and we transfer that into righteousness. We transfer it into indignation and anger and resentment, and standing behind each, as we transfer that, what stands behind it is our own superiority. So this is what normal people are doing with pain. So anger, we get so righteous, you know, you're wrong, I'm right. There it is. And then we get so resentful, I'm a victim, but you're wrong. And then we get so, and anger and like yelling, it's like, I'm right, and you're wrong. And it's always righteousness. So normal people even, and all of us, it's this transferring pain into righteousness. And if we don't transfer our pain into righteousness, we're probably using. So you see, so then we take all our pain and we go, this thing is going to take it away. So whatever we zero in on that this thing is, whether that's food or sex or another human being or casinos or the slot or drugs or a workaholic. You know, there's the workaholic that goes and takes his pain to work and works it out. And there's gardening and there's the gym and that's another transfer of pain. We're just doing, but you can see whether it's, you know, whether we're transferring pain or, because what's the fuel? I go into the gym to get it out, that fuel. And I say that righteousness and use are improper. And our righteousness puts our pain on somebody else, and victimize. It says, I'm a victim and I'm going to put it on you. And look at you, you're the problem. If you change, I won't have this fear and insecurity anymore. You. And we have this cloak around us, you know, And what we use when we're transferring or when we're watching out so that we don't feel our insecurities meet the world, we use judgment. So we see the one way that we can protect ourselves from our fears and insecurities meeting the world is we can judge the world and everybody in it. And if we judge the world and everybody in it, we can walk a certain way or make everybody line up a certain way, or we can go a certain way as to avoid it, as to avoid the world hitting our fears and insecurities. And you see how the judgment helps us there navigate through the world. But what the judgment does is it protects us, but it blocks us. It doesn't get us anywhere. It doesn't actually ever let the pain come in because we're avoiding all the people and places and things that we don't like. And we avert. It's called aversion. We're going the other way. And so now we have to start isolating. And then so we're living in judgment and we're isolating. And then anytime something hits, we get righteous. So we get less people in our life and we banish folks and we get kind of secluded. And we protect our insecurities and fears and say, these are all mine. I'm going to keep them. You don't touch them. You don't make anything in here feel. And then we come here, and this is what I'm trying to teach you all, and I'm imploring you. Take a closer look. First of all, in order to let your insecurities and fears get hit, you got to open up. You got to be available. You got to say, go ahead and hit them. You got to get on the court of life. You got to say, here, I don't know any of you, but here I am. Here I am. Look, tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm not right. I'm vulnerable, whatever it is, whatever you want to call it. But here it is. So now I'm open and I say, okay, I got to let this stuff get hit. And then as it gets hit, because I'm staying open and I'm seeing the judgment, and as I see the judgment, I can see my shield. There it is, my shield. So then the question is, are you looking at your shield or are you looking at your shield or are you looking at the threat? See, most people are looking at the threat. They don't even see their shield. You know, so they just got this big shield around them of judgment and discernment and, you know, questioning. And they got this big shield and they see the threat, but they don't see their shield. And so the first step is that we begin to see our shield. We begin to see it. We begin to start seeing all the judgments that we are throughout the day. The tiny ones, I don't like that, I like this, I like that, I don't like this, and that sucks, and this is good. And then you see the aversion and the attachment. There it is. Going which way? Are you attached or are you getting away from it? And then you'll see the problem. You see? So the first start is this microscopic look at the judgment, because once you start seeing the judgment, you're starting to get open. You're starting to open up. And now all of a sudden you're going to say, I'm just going to allow the world to hit. And then it hits. And then the question is, what is the proper distribution of this pain that I've been avoiding being hit? And the only proper distribution is to sit with it, to feel it without blame, to feel it, let it come in, and then turn it into acceptance. So there it is. Now I turn pain and my insecurities, I turn the things that I'm avert, I accept them. I let them come in. I let the people be who they are. But I now change me. I empty this fullness of insecureness and pain. And I look at this process. And I see that you got to get up to it. If you're not up to doing this, what are you up to? If you're not here to get empty, if you're not working the process of getting empty of your fears and insecurities, what exactly are you doing with your time? What are you doing with your life? So this is an employment to everybody, that this is the only real work. That if I can stop the judgment, then I can stop the blaming. I can stop the righteousness. I can have a chance to sit here, and as I sit here tonight, coming to you from pain, I don't know. It just is. There's no judgment on it. There's no righteousness, I hope. I try to filter out that as much as possible. and I eat it. And I say, this is the way it is. Another deep breath. This is how it is right now. And then you begin to see that in these times of eating your pain, the world can slow down. Slow down. I don't want to use anything. It is the way it is. I don't want to get high. I don't want to gamble my pain away. I don't want to drink it away. I don't want to eat it away. I'm just going to be here with it. And you become like a pain mill. You mill pain. You get bigger for other people around you. You expand. You just sit and mill it. And it's important to understand that all of you, there's no way you would have done what you've done if you weren't in pain. There's no way you would have. So all you did was try to find a solution for your pain. And all I'm doing is imploring you to try another one. People recognizing you're in pain, not recognizing you're in pain because you're blaming, but recognizing you're in pain because you're sitting with it. And you're saying, there's pain. There it is. I'm in pain. I'm going to come here and sit here before this group. I have to recognize I'm in pain. It's okay. It's okay. I'm in pain and it's okay. Here it is. We just learned. This is the way it is for me right now. There's no quick fix. It's not going away. There's work. It's tough. I gotta handle it. There's nobody to blame. There's nobody to say is wrong. There's nobody to resent. It just sits there. And I can feel it all the way up to here. I can feel the whole body. And this is the process. This is what we're doing. So tonight I come to you for my pain. And this is as bad as it gets. I haven't felt worse. I haven't felt worse. I haven't felt worse pain than this, and here I sit. So if I can do it, I don't got it together, and I'm not giving you advice. I'm just telling you I don't know any more important work. What are you going to do? Get a job? What are you going to do? Get some kids and yell at them? Or are you going to teach them to eat their pain? Are you going to teach this young 2-year-old to sit and breathe and stabilize and not blame the world? Or are you going to teach her to sew? You can teach them to sew or teach them to do math, but if you don't teach them to eat the pain, it's useless. I've seen very angry mathematicians. I've seen very angry seamstress. I've seen frustrated people. And I've seen every kind of people using drugs. So we are a pain clinic, not a treatment center. We are a pain clinic, and we're here for your pain. And we'll allow you to dump some on us, but pretty soon you got to start eating yours. So come in on day one and thrash around and not sit still and yell at everybody and say it's unfair, blame, say the food isn't very good and I shouldn't have to get up and why do I got to do this? So you stay a little long enough and we're going to teach you to eat something. And it ain't that, it's this. This is the way it is, guys. It's all right. It might not be all unicorns and rainbows. It might be difficulty. And you might want to, when it gets the most painful, sit the most still. There's some advice. When you're in the most pain, sit the stillest. You do the least damage. So we sit with stillness. When we want to go use something. We want to get distracted. We want to turn the TV on and just zone out into the TV. Or we want to drink some wine. Or we want to take a drug. Or we want to eat. Go to the buffet. Gorge. Whatever it is we want to do. But the important thing is let's stop. It's all okay. Because on the other side of this, on the other side of emptying this, and the other side of judgment, is love. We either live in judgment of people and the world, or we live in love of the people in the world. People are only living in one of two ways: judgment or love. Without the judgment is love. So there it is. What is the reason I must get rid of my fears and insecurities and have them stop meeting the world? Because I want to be in love. And right now I know I'm too goddamn scared to love anyone. Because I have to protect myself. And so I must get rid of these. And if I can get rid of this, there's the possibility for love. It still might be difficult. Because you know, at any moment, judgment can return. Watch out. You might think you're in love, but then they might have a mole on their face. So judgment will return. Can you get past the judgment? You might think you're in love, but maybe their thighs are too big. So now you're not in love anymore. You might think you're in You might think you're in love, but then they just say something you don't like. Because judgment returns. So how do you do it? Eat pain to get away judgment. See the shield. See what you're using. Walk into a new situation with people you don't know and see your heightened sense of judgment. Watch that shield come up. Now, judgment is mandatory. It must be there or we wouldn't survive. We got to watch out for the idiots. They might run into our car. So it's necessary. It's never going to go away. Without judgment, you would just smash into shit. So it's very important that you see it's always going to remain. But you have to see next that it's the thing that's blocking you from love. Judgment is the blockade. Look, beginning of a relationship, you know, it's all. There's no judgment. It doesn't exist. It's just beauty. Oh, this is going to be great forever. Then what comes that ruins the love? Our judgment. And where did the judgment come into play? Because last night you hit my insecurity and upset me. So now I got to get judgment up here to watch out for you so that don't happen again. Because I don't want any pain. So now I got to discern, are you good enough to stay around? You might have to go. But what if both folks, and what if all of us are really seeing that our pain is just this insecurity and fear is meeting the world? And it isn't you. In fact, it has nothing to do with you. But it's so personal because we're together. So we fight. And there's the fight of all fights. You stop hitting my fears. No, you stop hitting my fears. Let's not hit each other's fears. Fight. The one person says, you stop hitting my fears, please. And then the other person says, no, it's you. Okay, we got to go. And that's how much we can take it. So for all of you that I don't know or are new, or this is how we got how we got. And this is where we went. And what started out was an advice column. What started out with some good advice, solutions. And it turns out we don't know anything. It turns out we don't got it figured out. And it turns out this isn't me telling you that I've got something figured out and come on and do what I do. I will tell you that I think it's very, very important to learn to distribute pain properly. We learn to eat it so that we don't distribute it. And that might not be, that's an ultimate challenge, so it might not work. Because we still will distribute our pain because there's just too goddamn much. So we still end up hurting even when we don't mean to. just by chance because we're all here smashing into each other. And it's too rapid. So we lose track of ourselves, and then we inflict and distribute a little pain, and then we come back and say, I'm sorry. I lost track of myself. Hopefully there's the humility to come back and go, hey, sorry about that. I think I lost track of myself for a second. But it's the folks that can't do that are going to have the problem. It's the folks that say, I'm sorry I yelled at you, but you got to stop pissing me off. Instead of just, I'm sorry I yelled at you. I'm sorry I yelled at you, but you always do that to me. It's all the victims and the righteous that do that. What with our pain? That's the question. Teach, and then the possibility, just the 1% chance that you love might show up if you can get rid of it. But at some point, you got to admit that you're in too goddamn much pain to love anybody, because you got to keep your fears and insecurities to yourself and keep protected. We can't love from that place. We can't even feel that place. I don't need anybody to soothe me tonight, by the way. I don't need anybody coming on. A lot of people want that pain I have, but I don't need it. It's okay. I can sit with it. But I can help you tonight. And if anybody needs any help, that's what will soothe it. So if you have any questions or if you have anything, we're here. And I've eaten a lot of pain and I can eat a lot more and I'll be okay. I just worry about others. I don't want anybody else getting hurt. And so here's what I'm here to teach. And I teach it because I do it. And I don't know if I always do it. And I don't have it together. It's not advice. I'm just telling you. What are you doing with your pain? Is it constantly turning into righteousness? Are you complaining about your coworkers? Are you complaining about the traffic? Are you complaining about your kids? Are you complaining about your boss? Are you complaining about your addict? Because that's just turning your pain into righteousness. It does nothing. It just cycles. Or are you eating it to expand so that you can be capable of actually helping another human being? Or are you just not even addressing the issue? Just going along the petty pace of life and watching some TV and saying, I don't know what this joker's talking about. I don't have any pain. I watch TV. I eat what my shitty wife cooks, or the shitty food my shitty wife cooks. Pain? I don't know what this asshole's talking about. Everybody's just fucked up. I'm not in pain. Everybody's just wrong. That's pain. Righteousness equals pain. So we ain't here to block it. I ain't here to teach you how to one day at a time it. Just don't do drugs and that's going to solve shit. I don't care. I ain't here telling you you're going to be an addict the rest of your life. I don't care if you are. Because if you're not an addict and you're not using drugs but you're not eating pain, then I got to put up with how you distribute it elsewhere. So now if I'm sitting with somebody that's an addict that doesn't use drugs, but they're actually distributing their pain through righteousness, I'd rather you were drunk. Because then at least you'd go away somewhere and wouldn't be dumping it on me. I got enough. I'll take any questions, comments. Like I said, I'm in pain. I don't need no one to soothe me. It's okay. I love you. I love everyone, but I don't need anyone to say I love you. I'm okay tonight. I'm sitting with it and enjoying it. I'm enjoying my pain. Let me have it. Don't try to take it. Mr. Biff.
Yeah, so like this thing has been on my mind like for the past like 4 days probably.
Can you guys hear on their end?
I think so.
Okay.
No?
Hit the AC?
Yeah,
Some people are saying no.
I can hear.
I'll speak
It's
up.
mixed.
Okay.
Yeah, so this thing has been on my mind for like the past 4 days about this, business of like there can really be no like creation when you're not dealing with that pain. You know what I mean? I mean,
Right.
like for sure, it definitely turns into righteousness,
Mm-hmm.
or it manifests itself in like a million different ways. You know what I mean? Just manifestations of self.
Yes.
And I've been thinking about, the other side of that, which is like the creative side. When you are in acceptance and you've done the work and like prepared, and then going about like creating something small at first, maybe, you know what I mean? But then you just do like one action where you're not in resistance and you're not making mistakes and you're not just like forcing your pain in like, even it gets in really weird ways too on other people. You know what I mean? Like your pain comes out in these weird ways that doesn't seem like it at all.
That's right.
You know what I mean? But you just really want whatever it is that you are creating verbally or physically. Or,
And we just want that to come out in the world and take our pain away.
yeah. And I've just been thinking about that a lot and just being very like extremely watchful of it. And it comes out in like weird ways, very weird. And then we were talking about so we were talking about it in group earlier today. We were talking about happiness, and this was sparked by, what was that book? What book were we reading? Untethered Soul. Yeah, we read like chapter 15 of the Untethered Soul,
Mm-hmm.
and he was talking about how I can't remember how he worded it, but the word that he used was happiness, and that the sort of like the end goal of this stuff is achieving happiness.
Yeah.
And I guess I was just kind of wondering what your thoughts on that are, because it's now that's been on my mind a lot too, because in my mind, it seems weird to me when people say, "Oh, I just want to be happy."
Yeah.
Because I see like happiness and like rage on like extreme ends of the spectrum.
Yeah.
And like, wouldn't it be so strange if someone was like, "Yeah, I just want to be furious all the time." You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
for me, it's just this like circumstantial thing that just happens once. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there's like this location of acceptance that I can be in, and then like the happiness comes, and then it goes, and then maybe it'll come more often. You
So
know
let
what
me
I mean?
break it down before you go too far, because there was a lot. And what Biff was speaking about was, with all this pain, can there be creation? And a lot of the talk we have over here is about self-expression. And which avenue are we going to get the pain out of us through ourself, or are we going to self-express and create? And I think he's absolutely right that people create to get rid of their pain. And that sometimes works. It just does. It sometimes works. Somebody creates a particular type of shoe maybe, or whatever it is, but maybe some type of business that's coming from somebody's pain, that the premise is, I'm going to be the best at this. And when I do, boy, they'll all know who I am. Yeah, music or whatever. But I think what creation, it doesn't really come from that. It really, truly, it doesn't come from our pain. Before the creation, if it's good, it's pain turned into love and acceptance.
Yeah.
So there's like, if somebody's creating good music from pain, there had to be a transformation where they accepted the pain first and dealt with it. And they didn't dump it on somebody, and they kept it and they turned it into something. So that's okay. And I think that what Biff's talking about is creating in the world without doing this work might be a problem. And I think you're right. I think it might be a problem. And that's why I said, I don't care what you're going to do with your life, but I think this is first. I think anything good that's going to come out is going to come out when we're not mixing it with our pain. When we're bringing it out in the in honor of love and the feeling of being in love. And now I create this thing because I'm in love with the world. And I want to point out to people that when we're in love with the world or when we're in love with people, there is two prevalent qualities. And they're both, it's amazement and gratitude. And so if you see those prevalent qualities, there's a chance you might be in love. And those have to be there. And if they're not there, it's almost like you're just constantly saying thank you. Thank you to whatever made this, whoever made this. Thank you to God. Thank you. And so from that place we can self-express. I think that's what we really want. That's what we're really all after. But I think that too many people dismiss the actual process of getting to that place where I can do it, and then they con us off. And no, when somebody says happiness, I don't understand what they mean. I don't believe that anyone is ever going to get happy. I believe that that's the exact thing that will happen so you don't find happiness.
Yeah.
But what is left when you get rid of the pain and you mill it all and then you see beauty? It might be love, or it might be amazement, or it might be gratitude, and it might be happy. But happiness isn't a place that you're going to achieve. It's an experience that you're going to have when all the fears and insecurities kind of get dealt with for a second. But that doesn't mean they're dealt with forever. It means they're dealt with for a second, and then maybe I might go into a new zone. I might have to fly to Beirut and jump off the plane. And you might have some insecurities come back again. And you might have some judgment show up again. So it's not just over. It's getting there with the current people in our life and then meeting new ones. And seeing that when somebody new comes, there it is again. There's this thing protecting me. There's my shield saying, watch out for that guy. He's got too many tattoos. Watch out for that person. They're black. Watch out for that person. They're white. So the judgment will return and the insecurities will always be there. But we got to start just unloading some of it. And getting to a place of everydayness where we can at least get with, if you think that there's, and a lot of this was spawned because a lot of us went to the lake together this weekend. Everyone in this room was there. And everyone there was free of judgment and in love. And we all kind of had this thing of ours, didn't we? We all kind of had this thing of ours that 6 hours that we were at that lake just flew by. None of us had our phones, nothing. It was just this judgment-free zone. And it was amazing. So, but that means that next week, but see, that doesn't usually generally happen at a family reunion. We got to protect ourselves from my brother. He's going to try to con me out of some dough. I got to watch out for my old uncle. He's drunk. I got to watch out for my aunt. She's always coming to try to do my hair and lick that spit. You got to watch out. So the family reunion is not a place of love. Nobody's in love. They're in judgment. What are you going to be when you grow up? Well, that's not sufficient. What are you now? Oh, that's not sufficient. Oh, you're still doing drugs and struggling? Ooh, you're defective. Well, when are you going to get it like old Cousin Jimmy? Cousin Jimmy's really moving up. Fuck Jimmy. I always had some cousin that was moving up in the world. Fuck him too. There I was, 37, going the other way. And the judgment was there, So I had to make it up. I'm going to be starting a business soon. I always had a good idea. It was always grandiose. It was better than a...
Sounds real good.
Yeah. Because, hey, I got to say this because you're going to judge me. You're not in love with me. But I'm your loved one. But I got to prove something here, and I don't got to prove it here. So we got to take a look. We got to spot this shield that we're carrying around. It's heavy. Judgment turned into righteousness. Protection. Don't touch me. Don't come in. I don't want to feel anything that I don't like. I only want to feel good stuff all day. So I don't go there anymore, and I don't talk to him anymore. And I don't go to that store because the lines are too long, and I don't drive that way because sometimes the light takes 2 minutes. And I'm not going to make the microwave popcorn because, geez, I got to stand there. I remember when I was a kid, microwave popcorn used to take 4.5 minutes, sometimes 5. Now it's like 1:30. You know, can't you see them all in the boardroom of the microwave popcorn company? We got to speed this up. We got to get it down. These people are frustrated. They're standing at the microwave fucking losing it. The commercial's only 2 minutes. You know? So he's just like, fuck! Yelling at the microwave. You know? Then you burn it. You can smell it. But I'm a microwave popcorn aficionado. I can hear by the pops. I don't need a timer. Bing. Pull it out. There's the heat. You got to go corner to corner. Pull it apart. Heat out. Don't burn your hand. You know? And it's the yellow salt and butter on the side of the bag that's the good thing. Get all the popcorn out of there and just get my hand salty and buttery. Ah. That's why I don't share. You know what I mean? Because I don't want somebody else's hand before mine. And I don't want theirs after mine. So I need my own bag. We're not sharing a bag of microwave popcorn here. That's not what it's about. You know, make your own bag, dude. We got plenty of money. So here we are, the creation of little pain mills. The getting rid of the jealousy, the envy, the delusion. See, the jealousy, the envy, and the delusion, those are the other ways to get rid of the pain. Your pain and you leaving me, it's not my fault. I own you. Don't be with anybody else and be happy. I love you so much that when I see you with somebody else and happy, I want to kill you. What a craziness. I heard last night you're with somebody else and very happy. I love you so much, I'm going to fucking kill you. There's jealousy. Was somebody in the bar giving you attention when I wasn't there? God, I love you.
Were they good looking?
yeah. What they look like? Were they cooler than me?
Yeah.
You know?
What kind of car did they drive?
Oh, you were happy and validated and you felt good? Get over here. Never do that again. You're hurting me. There's jealousy. Crazy. And then jealousy turns into delusion because we just make it up. You know, we just assume.
Yeah.
We picture.
Create the story.
Create a story. It turns into delusion. Well, that must be it. It's not that I need to improve. It's not that I need to get rid of the way I am. It's that you need to. You need to stop doing that. So it's all there tonight, guys. These guys here are here. We can take any, raise your hand online. I know I've laid it out so clearly you can't possibly be confused.
Yeah, so if anybody has any questions, there is a raise your hand feature. And also you can just simply unmute yourself and let me know if you can't figure out that feature. But yeah, we'd love anybody to share any thoughts.
You know, I'm looking here in this room and I just got to let everybody know online, it's a goddamn honor to be here with these guys and to see their presence and to see the attention and to see it's just such an honor that they're giving me their attention. And thank you guys. And I hope you, and we got a bunch of people in this room that are truth tellers and they can see the truth. I know they can. and they're feeling it right now in this room. I wish everybody could be here,